Donald Trump has reignited a major trade war, this time targeting Canada directly. In a fiery letter to Prime Minister Mark Carney, Trump announced a 35% tariff on Canadian goods and quickly followed it with a 50% hike on Canadian steel and aluminum. Within 48 hours, Ottawa retaliated with a matching blow, $22 billion worth of tariffs on American imports. The economic shock was immediate. Prices of electric vehicle motors, Detroit pickup frames, and even beer can shells shot up. American consumers, already battling inflation, suddenly faced even higher costs on essential items. But this wasn't just a trade war. It quickly turned into a strategic clash over the future of electric vehicles. Carney's counterstrike wasn't just about tariffs. He ordered all imported U.S. steel to provide detailed carbon and origin data, highlighting that Canadian steel, powered by hydro energy, is cleaner and more traceable. Analysts dubbed it a climate weapon, designed to gain an ESG advantage and push U.S. coal-based steel out of the market. At the same time, Ottawa launched a $1.5 billion emergency support fund for Quebec smelters. But within days, demand nearly maxed out the cap, forcing Canada to consider injecting more. Still, Carney remained firm, warning that if the U.S. doesn't de-escalate by July 21st, Canada would raise tariffs further or impose quotas. His message was clear. We will not back down, only level up. Meanwhile, the impact on American manufacturers, especially in the auto sector, has been severe. Ford admitted that its recent labor contract already adds $850 to every vehicle. And with the 50% tariff on raw materials, pickup truck prices could rise by $8,000 per unit. J.D. Power reports automakers will likely have to absorb 70% of the cost hikes to maintain sales, which could crush profits at Ford, GM, and Tesla. Even the $7,500 EV tax credit under the IRA may be nullified by these material costs, essentially becoming a reverse tax on green cars. While the U.S. economy absorbs the pressure, Canada is pushing forward. Carney unveiled the $4.8 billion Green Steel Fund to help convert steel plants from blast furnaces to clean electric arc furnaces. Already, ArcelorMittal Dofasco in Hamilton and Algoma Steel in Sault Ste. Marie have received over $2 billion in federal funding. By 2030, Canadian Steel aims to cut CO2 emissions by 60%, just as Europe's carbon border tax kicks in, giving Canada a strategic edge. Canada is also preparing its legal arsenal. On March 13th, Ottawa filed a formal WTO case against the U.S. and is quietly coordinating with Japan and South Korea, who were also hit with U.S. tariffs. A joint WTO case could put serious political pressure on Trump's America First narrative, especially during an election year. And back home, Canada announced that starting July 21st, all federal infrastructure projects must use Canadian steel and aluminum, while blocking Chinese steel routed through the U.S. This strategy forms what Carney calls a three-pronged assault: symmetrical tariffs that mirror U.S. pain, green investments to modernize and dominate the future steel market, and legal pressure to corner Washington on the global stage. If the U.S. refuses to de-escalate, both countries could push tariffs up to 70%, dragging copper, lithium, and battery materials into the fight, and threatening the entire North American EV supply chain. The irony? The electric pickup truck rolling off Texas assembly lines might soon rely on aluminum from Quebec. Now, Trump must choose: back off to cool inflation and save Detroit's margins, or escalate and risk launching Trade War 2.0. The next 3 weeks could decide whether America First turns into America Pays. So, what's your take? Should the U.S. and Canada partner in a clean steel alliance, or is economic conflict now inevitable? Drop your opinion in the comments.